So now let's go back to our values controller and rename the method get to get something, and rename the method get with a param to something else. Run the application, go to student form and click on submit button. We reached at the API endpoint. As we used the API route contoso/values, as we know that our route works with a prefix name and the controller name and an optional ID. As we don't have any ID, so we use the prefix contoso and the controller name. As we passed the API route in HTTP verb, so AngularJS will try to reach at API endpoint according to HTTP verb. As we used the HTTP verb get, so AngularJS will try to find a API route named contoso/values which supports get verb. As our get something method in values controller has a prefix get, so AngularJS is calling the get something method. Actually, AngularJS is matching the API route and the HTTP verb. Well, if we try to reach the post method, let's set a debug point here and change the HTTP verb in AngularJS controller. Make it post. Let's save all. Go back to browser, reload the page and click on submit button. We reached at the API endpoint at the post method. Now let's try to reach something else method. As it has no prefix and takes an integer param, let's go back to our AngularJS controller, make the HTTP verb get and add an integer value at the end of the API route following a forward slash. Let's save all. Go back to browser, reload the page and click on submit. Well, we reached at the wrong endpoint, as only the get something method has a prefix get and we are calling the API using a get verb. Now let's change the HTTP verb in our AngularJS controller and make it post. Save all, go back to browser, reload the page and click on submit button again. This time we reached at our desired endpoint. So if we don't use any HTTP verb as prefix with our method in API endpoint, then we can reach the API endpoint using HTTP post verb from our client. Now let's delete the param in something else method and try again. This time we could not reach at our API endpoint. Let's inspect to read the error. It says multiple actions were found that matches the request. Cause now something else and post method both expects a post type call from client with the same API. Well, we can solve this issue using route attribute and HTTP verb attribute. Let's do that in next lesson.